I'm going to take you on a journey through my career, okay? And I'm going to try to be as open and transparent with you as I can, okay? Not that you should care, but I want you to see how, at what point you had something similar going on and what's waiting for you around the corner and how you get there and how you move through the path. And we talk about this a lot, that there are blamers, shamers, and claimers. Some people sit around blaming everybody else. Some people don't. Some people sit around blaming themselves. Like some of us call ourselves some really bad names. And then some people don't do either one. They just go out and do something about it. And the great thing is you get to decide which one of those three kinds of people you're going to be. But I'm going to try to take you down the road today. And I got a lot of opinions about this. I've got opinions like maybe from my wife who says, I don't know if you should do this or not. And then I talked to Rob Hamilton about it and I'm like, should I do this? And he goes, yeah, absolutely. Let people see that everything wasn't so bright and rosy for you all the time. Okay, here's what's hard. Nobody likes to do this. Like, I want you guys to think, I got my stuff figured out and I always have, right? You ever feel like that? Like you don't want to show any weakness or vulnerability? Well, Greg is probably the person I've known in the room the longest. I've known Greg longer than I've known Jay. Greg was around when I was a dumbass. Greg's just such a nice guy, he's never going to tell you that. Okay, so maybe I can. Let's see. I don't know. We'll see how transparent, how honest I can be with you today. Okay, because I can sit here today and it has been, as of tomorrow, will be 34 years in Atlanta real estate. And yeah, you've heard this. You're sick of hearing it. Yeah, I've sold more than 10,000 homes. I've had years when I made millions. I've had years when I paid more in income taxes that year than my parents paid in their entire lifetime. I had a year when I sat there and wrote a $1.3 million check to the IRS. Now write that check. Write that check. Just for fun, pull out your checkbook today and write a check for $1.3 million to the IRS. And just sit there with that for a minute and think about all the things you could do with that much money. But you're about to put it in an envelope, send it off to the IRS. Okay? I've had all those things, but I've had a lot of other things too. So, here's my title, The Path from Real Estate Agent to Business Owner, or from having my lights turned off to becoming one of the most productive agents in the world. Yeah, I've been both people. So some of you have been both people too, or are being one of those people. And I will tell you, if you are having your lights turned off, I know what that's like. And if you are making more money than you ever thought you would be able to make, I know what that's like. And both of them, I can share some insights with you. So let's start. 1987, what the hell was I thinking? I was 25 years old. I quit my job. You know why I quit my job? Now, some people are trying to transition into real estate. I wasn't that smart. Or said a different way, I was too arrogant to do that. I'm me. I mean, I'm just going to be great at this. I don't think I ever thought anything else. I don't think I ever really thought that I wasn't going to be great at it. Of course I'm going to be great. It's me. Don't you know who we're talking about here? I quit my job. I joined Coldwell Banker, which is a fine company. This isn't anything about them. Why did I join Coldwell Banker? I have no idea. Is it because they had the plan that was going to help me build a career the fastest? No. Why? I think it was closest to my apartment. I drove by their sign all the time. I kind of thought all real estate companies were the same, so I'll start there. Not a great reason to do something. Within 6 months, I'm the top agent in the company. And I suck. And I know I suck. And I'm still the top agent in the office. And a friend of mine's going over to RE/MAX. So I thought, well, I'll go with you. Why? Because my friend was going. Not a great reason to transfer companies. Okay? Didn't have a plan. Didn't have a good reason. I was like, oh, John, you're going. He goes, yeah. When? Today? I'm like, well, can I come go with you? He goes, I guess. Yeah, I was a strategic thinker back then. I made $30,000 my first year in real estate. Gross. Hey, newsflash. What you make in commissions is not what you get to take home. Has everybody kind of figured that out by now? You have business expenses, you have the IRS, you have me, you have all kinds of people trying to put their hand in your pocket, right?
Was that a lot of money back then?
Even back then, that was not a lot of money. Even back then, you could not live on that. So you can expect your business expenses to run somewhere, depending on how, if you're real tight and frugal, I won't mention any names, Bob, but maybe your expenses are only like 41% of your business. Other people that buy their business, I've seen their expenses run as high as 85%. Every dollar you make is not profit. I learned that lesson pretty quickly. My second year, well, I hit a home run now. I almost doubled my business. Now, I'm making $52,000 a year at 26. No, I'm not. I grossed $52,000. I think I might have taken home like 23, 24. Even back then, no, you cannot live on that. Okay? Now, in the room right now, there are people going, that's me. Okay, that's most of us. Now look, there are some exceptions to this. Yes, there's Bob Clarkson. Let's just talk about that for a second. Would you start May your first year? April or May? Okay. And how much did you make from May to December?
I don't know, probably gross 85,000.
Okay. That's not normal. You want to know what normal is? Here's normal. 87% of all new licensees do not make it to their second anniversary date. They flunk out of the business. They're not making enough money. They got to go get a real job. That's normal. He's not normal. If you're sitting around thinking there's something wrong with you because you didn't make $700,000 last year and that little millennial in the room did, there's nothing wrong with you. That's not normal. And he's not scared enough. And this is what I say to him all the time. In his adult life, in his work career, he's never known a declining market. He's never known the stock market to go down. He's never known tough times. All he has known is an increasing marketplace and economy. That's all he has known. What is waiting around the corner for you, I'll show you. Okay? But that's not normal. If you're comparing yourself to him, I kind of get it. It's not a good comparison. Is it something that he can be proud of? I think you probably should be proud of the success you've had over the last 5 years, but I don't think you can take a whole lot of personal credit for it. I think some of us are given God-given gifts and abilities, and we end up getting into a career that really syncs up for us. That was not me. So I struggled. I didn't have any discipline. I had no discipline. I had zero discipline. I would roll over and hit the loser button endlessly. I thought getting into work around 9:30 to 10 was an accomplishment. Look at me. I had no structure. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing every day. I didn't know when I was supposed to be doing it. I didn't have a framework for running a business. I definitely didn't have a plan. I had no plan. I just had a real estate license. I just thought that I would get a real estate license and people would call me. Isn't that what happens? No. I learned that pretty quickly. I was working, I would have told you this, I'm working 7 days a week. Well, I kind of was. I was on call because I wasn't getting stuff done during a work week. So that meant I was just available whenever an opportunity might come along. If it was on a day when I had something to do personally, then if it was a big enough opportunity, then I would just cancel my personal commitment. Why? Well, I got somebody that wants to list their house and I have to go do that. Why do you have to go do that? Because it's the only opportunity I have and I can't let it go. Because I'm not doing my work during work time. So then I have to be available whenever people say so, and I don't try to get them to work within my schedule. Why? Because I don't have a schedule. I'm just kind of playing, and I'm working 10 to 12 hours a day. No, I wasn't. I was going to the movies in the afternoon. I was out driving around in my car listening to the radio and calling that work. I wasn't working. I was screwing around, people. I was screwing around. I was playing bumper cars with my business. I was just hoping to bump into somebody that wanted to buy or sell a house. That's what I was doing. Greg, when you and I first met, that's what I was doing. I was just playing bumper cars. And I was spending a lot of time every week doing it because I didn't even know. I didn't have somebody nagging me like I nag you. I know you're sick of hearing it. I'm never going to shut up. I want you to have a schedule. Why? Because I want you to have a personal life. And you can't make the money that you're going to make. You can't if you don't have a schedule. So I'm never going to shut up about it. The only way you're ever going to get me to shut up about it is to quit and go be somewhere else. I don't want you to do that, but it's the only way I'm ever going to quit nagging you about it, because I don't want you to go through the problems that I had to go through. I was implementing a new idea every week. Every bright, shiny object that I saw, I mean, this week I'm going to do farming. Next week I'm going to do door knocking. Then I'm going to call FSBOs. And then I'm going to do networking. And it just every time somebody said something, I thought, well, that's a good idea. Then that was my new thing. So I was starting over every week. I sucked. And as a consequence, I was on a roller coaster ride. With money, but more importantly with my emotions. I was all over the place. I was too high and I was way too low. I had no perspective. I had nobody to talk to. I was having nobody that would sit and, Lisa and I will do this, and Lisa will sit and I call her my chief wackadoodle because she gets crazy, and I go, Lisa, no exclamation point, smiley face. I didn't have anybody doing that with me. They were just holding my license. I'm never going to do that with you. If that's what you want, that is not what we are. I'm never going to just hold your license. I could have a good month. I could. And then I would crash. And then I would run out of money and I would create more business because I was getting hungry, and I'd have another good month. And then I'd crash. Why? Because I wasn't running a business. I had no plan. I had no strategy. I had no schedule. I was just playing bumper cars. Hey, come home. Don't raise your hand. But that feeling when you walk in the door and hit the light switch and nothing comes on. And the bad part about it is, same thing with the phone. I had my phone turned off. Then you got to go down and stand in line and give them a money order to get them to turn it back on. And you're standing in line with all the other, because I was a shamer. I'm standing in line with all the other losers, right? And now I'm a loser. Doesn't build confidence, doesn't give you energy, doesn't make you wake up the next day with a zest for life. Gets you depressed and down, bummed out. It doesn't make you want to do more. It makes you want to hide. And it's right? It's humiliating. I had IRS issues. Hey, and that's why I will sit here today with you and say, there's two people on this planet you don't screw with. Don't screw with. Don't screw with the Georgia Real Estate Commission. They can take your license away from you. They can take away your ability to earn a living. Don't mess with them. Don't get edgy. Don't. Well, I do true-ish a lot, right? I don't do true-ish when it comes to license law. You want me to get serious with you and get technical? License law. Why? They will take away your ability and my ability to make a living like that. And there is no due process. If you think that you're going to be able to hire an attorney and go down and sit in a room and make your case and they have to prove you're wrong, you are completely crazy. What the Georgia Real Estate Commission and the IRS both have in common is there's no due process. If the IRS thinks you owe them money, they will just take it out of your account. And they can. They've done it to me. And you thought you had money, you now have no money. And they will not give it back to you. And guess which court you get to go to if you think you've been wronged? You get to go to the IRS's court with their judge. There's no due process. You're guilty. Now prove you're not. And if you've ever tried to prove you're not guilty about something, that's not easy. Joe, do you still beat your wife?
No.
No. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that, Joe. If you ever get into a situation where the repo guy is looking for your car, come see me. I can tell you how to do this. He never got me, but he was looking for me. I can tell you how to beat the repo guy. And it's funny now. It wasn't funny then. If you're a real estate agent and they take your car away from you, you got an issue. What changed? I mean, Jane, I haven't seen the repo guy this week. Have you? No, nobody's knocking on the door. It changed. What changed? First, I just became exhausted. I decided to quit. I've told some of you this story. It was a Saturday morning. I'm laying in bed. I got IRS issues. I've had my electricity turned off. I got no money. I got nothing. You know what? Time for a real job. Time to get a real job. I didn't think of myself like this, but hey, you know what? I'm 26, 27 years old. I'm not Bob. For whatever reason, I wasn't. Gotta go get a real job. Okay, well, what kind of real job am I going to get? I can remember this. I'm remembering it in my head as I'm telling you the story. I can picture it. What kind of job am I going to get? And I thought about who might hire me. What would they pay me? Well, back then, $40,000, $45,000. Well, shit. And I don't get to keep all that $45,000. I might get to take home like 30-something. Well, how much money is that in real estate? Well, that's like half a deal a month. Well, I could sell half a house a month. I could sell 6 houses a year. Then why aren't I? So I'm having this whole conversation with myself. Then why aren't I? I'm like, well, I mean, it's just me here, so let's be honest. Going to watch The Color Purple in the afternoon's probably not a key to success. I've listened to a lot of training stuff. I just don't do it. I listen to it. I think it's all good ideas. Sounds really smart. I just don't do it. What if I did? Could I sell 1 house a month? Of course. Well then, why do I want to go get a real job? Have somebody else dictate everything to me? Why don't I just do it myself? That's actually a pretty good question. When I look back over 34 years now, here's what I'll say to you today. It might have been the only thing I ever did right. Why don't I just do it for myself? Why don't I? Because I'm going to have to get up, go to a real job, get there by, I don't know, what time do you have to be here every day?
8:30 a.m.
And what time do you get to leave?
5 o'clock p.m.
What if you want to go to see The Color Purple this afternoon?
That'll be Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, you ain't doing that. Well, if I'm going to do that, why don't I just do it in real estate? Wouldn't I make more money? Oh, yeah, you'd make twice as much money at least. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give myself 30 days. I'm going to give myself 30 days and I'm actually going to go to work. Unthinkable. I'm actually going to get up and go to work. Now I'm going to start trying to do this stuff for a month. Let's see what happens. If it doesn't work, then I know it was all a bunch of BS and I'll just go get a real job then. I can live, and I could live on macaroni and cheese. Cost cutter at Kroger, 19 cents a box, and if you make it with water instead of milk, you can have 2 meals a day on 19 cents. I know how to be poor. I'm good at being poor. So I just wrote down, I got up out of bed, went and ate my Cheerios and sat there and wrote down, okay, here's what I'm going to do for 30 days. And I kind of built, it was kind of a weak-ass schedule, but I kind of did one the best I knew how to do it then. And then I said, this is all I'm going to do for 30 days. I'm not going to do anything else. That's it. This is all I'm going to do. And at the end of 30 days, if this isn't working, then I'll just go do what I was going to do anyhow. And then I did it. I just started, I didn't have anything to lose, folks. There was nothing to lose. I didn't have anything. If you don't have anything, you got nothing to lose. And this is the part that I almost didn't put in here, because I don't want to set up false expectations for you. It may or it may not work like this for you. In 2.5 weeks, I had 5 listings. Why? I got up and went to work every day and called people and asked them if they wanted to sell their house. That's why. And shockingly, some people said yes. It's amazing how that works. You actually call people. David, how many people do you have to talk to today?
25.
Do every once in a while somebody says, yeah, I do want to sell my house?
They do.
Good. David just got paid $10,000. Do most people say that? No. I'm not looking for them. I'm only looking for the guy that says yes. I have to go through a lot of no's to get to the yes, but when I find the yes, I make a lot of money. After 2.5 weeks, I had 5 listings. All of a sudden, I wasn't thinking about the real job anymore. That thought never occurred to me again the rest of my career. I realized the thing that I'm desperately trying to get you to realize. And it occurred to me in that 30-day period. I only get paid for one thing. All this other bullshit going on in our industry. I don't get paid for any of that stuff. I don't get paid for showing homes. I don't get paid for putting my sign in the yard. I don't get paid. I get paid for one thing. I get paid for getting people to say, yes, Rip, I want to do business with you. I want to buy or sell a home with you. From that point on, Rip can be the worst real estate agent in Atlanta, and the customer won't know it until it's all said and done with. And then they'll go, God, Rip sucks. Have you ever worked with another agent, a co-op agent on a transaction, and you actually have this thought, why in the world are these people working with you? You're so horrible. They don't know it. They don't know. If I knew Rip was horrible, of course I wouldn't have hired him. But I know Rip. He's a likable guy. I think all real estate agents are the same. So I asked Rip to help us. During the course of the transaction, we figure out Rip is terrible. But it's too late. I realized my job was only one thing. Getting people to hire me to help them buy or sell a home. That's it. And pretty much from that point on, I never really wanted to do anything else. And it translates out to today like this. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but here we go. Dwayne and I have a constant argument. We, here at our company, we have a broker hotline, right? You have an issue, you hit the button, it rings to whoever's on call that week, right? And I know when I answer the phone, I can hear it in your voice. You go, oh, Mike. You don't even try to hide it from me. You're not pleasantly surprised. You're like, oh shit, it's you this week. And Dwayne, every week he goes, you're on call this week. And I go, good. He goes, no, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, no, I'll do it. I like doing it. And Jane will say, oh my God, Jane, I got my phone with me. I'm on call this week. And I know what she thinks. Oh God. How many people are going to quit before this week's over? Dwayne and I constantly argue. He doesn't, and he'll passively resist me. I'll go, you know, it's been a long time since I've been on call. And he goes, no, you just forgot. And I'm like, no, I didn't forget. He goes, well, I took your week. He doesn't want me to be broker on call. Why? Go ahead, you can tell him the
I
truth.
don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I will say this, I don't mean it to sound arrogant. I don't mean it that way if it does sound arrogant to you. When it comes to marketing yourself and growing your business, I may be the best in the world at this. I may be. When it comes to writing an offer and which amendment you should use in the contract, I don't even know where do you go to get your contracts? Where are they? He won't tell me because he doesn't want me to do it. I don't know. I don't need to know. It was never important. From that point on, it's not important. I don't need to be good at that. I just need to have people around me that are good at that. Meet Dwayne. Meet Karen. I never looked back from that point on. The only thing I did right was, for some reason, the thought went through my brain, what if I just did for myself what a boss would expect me to do? Hey, y'all come go work for me. Don't be independent contractors. I'll put you on payroll today and I'll pay you $75,000 a year. And you will sell $20 million worth of real estate this year. I guarantee you will. Dwayne, you think they would?
Yes.
Or
They wouldn't have a job.
They wouldn't have a job. You would do it. You are capable of doing it. I could prove it to you. Here's the thing. You get $75,000, I get the other $600. That's how it works. But I don't want to do that. I want you to get the $600, and I get the $75 for showing you how to do it and how to manage it. That's a better deal, right? But if you don't want to make that deal, come see me. I'll put you on staff. You'll make $75,000 this year. I'll make $600. I had to establish some new commitments. This just became like, it wasn't a choice. I had to go to work every day. Because when I tried to stay home to work, I didn't work. I mean, I tried to, but then I did a lot of stuff that's not really work. I had to get myself in an environment, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I would steal. I steal from you guys. I watch you steal from each other. I listen to David McGee every day, and sometimes I go, oh shit, don't say stuff like that. But most times I go, that was pretty good. I needed to be in the environment. I needed to be around people. I needed the synergy. I needed the motivation. I needed the skills and the training. I needed a lot of stuff, and I wasn't getting it at home. I learned to put on my uniform every day. And just like today, it's just what I do. Do I need to wear a suit and tie today to work in real estate? I don't. I just do. Why? Here's what I learned. It's an inconvenient truth. Our industry doesn't carry a lot of credibility. Consumers think of us as weak and untrained, grossly overpaid. It's just funny, I've never met the real estate agent that thought they were grossly overpaid. Anybody in the room thinks you're just making way too much money, more than you deserve? Yeah. You work hard for the money you make. And those of you that are making a lot right now, you earned it. You earned it. You earned every dollar. But this is true as well. There's a lot of weak, untrained, unskilled people in our industry, and they make us all look bad because we all get painted with that brush. And the way you fight that is you rise above it. Rip, you look sharp today. I learned, put a coat and tie on every day. Why? Because consumers think we're weak, unskilled, unpolished, not worth the money they pay us. Every time you get a commission objection and somebody doesn't want to pay you 6%, that's what they're saying to you. You people suck. I'm not paying you $20,000 to sell my house. Fight it. What's Bob Clarkson done right? Every day since he started working here 5 or 6 years ago, he looks exactly like he works today. And I told him, I was like, dude, you're like 25 and you look like you're 16. And he still does. Do you shave yet? There's nobody more fun. Yeah, David's more fun to tease than Bob, but
Yes.
overcome the stigma. It's easy to do. Is it inconvenient? Pedram, you look like a pro today. You look like a pro. Good for you. You overcome the stigma that is our industry by polishing up every day. And don't drop your standards, not one single day. Don't ever do it. I have never seen Joe Iman come into work looking any different than he does today. I've never seen Rip come in. I've never seen Bob come in. I've never seen David come in. Don't drop your standards for anybody ever. That's what's wrong with our industry. And if you do, you will get painted with the same brush that everybody else is getting painted. I had defined days and hours that I was going to work. I work these days, I work these hours, and by God, when I'm working, I'm working. And that way, when I'm not working, I'm not working. Other than when I'm on call, try to get a hold of me on Sunday afternoon. See how that goes for you. I come up with systems so that you get what you need. It just isn't going to be from me. Why? By Friday night, I earned that. I did. I'm all in with you until I'm not. No playing, no socializing. This ain't a social club. It's not. And those people that try to make it a social club don't work here anymore because they're walking around bothering you. And David and I have a key phrase that we've been working on, and I'm going to polish it up a little bit. Mike, would you kindly go back to your office so that I can get my work done, please? It's some variation of that.
Close.
Because David's,
I was told.
That's exactly right.
it might have been shortened up a little bit. Because David's such a nice guy that people will go over there and stand at his desk and talk to him almost all day, and he can't get his work done and he won't take care of himself. This isn't a social club. I love you guys, but you're not my family. And companies that try to have family reunions and try to make everybody feel like that. This ain't family. You have family. I ain't it. And by Friday afternoon, what do I think? I think you probably had enough of me. And you need a break. But we ain't hanging out together on weekends, and right? We're not. I became, though, like the dog that chases cars. What you going to do when you catch it? Now what are you going to do? So at this point now, I'm consistently doing 5 deals a month. Okay, that sounds good. Not so much. Not so much. Now I got problems. So I hired a part-time listing coordinator. Hey, good luck. Try to do this. Try to hire a part-time anything and let's see what you come up with. It ain't good. Then I hired a full-time contract to close coordinator. You know her. It's Karen Mazza. And is Karen in the room? Karen's not in the room. Good. Stop by and talk to Karen today and see if she'll be honest with you. Hey, when you started working with Mike like 20 years ago, what was that like? And she'll tell you, I think she will, it was horrible. He is a terrible boss. I was a horrible boss. I'm not a whole lot better today, but marginally. Am I a little bit better?
A lot better.
A lot better. Okay.
Not to shine him on, but
Hey, doctors, lawyers, real estate agents, we're horrible people to work for because we're not skilled and trained. And if you think you are, that's your ego whispering to you. You're not. You don't know how to manage people. You were never taught. You never acquired the skill, and it is a skill. I was a horrible boss. Why Karen's still here is only because Karen is the most patient person on the planet. It was difficult because I had no skills and ability, and it was way too expensive. I wasn't making enough money. I had the work to do. I just didn't have the money to pay people to do it. That's why we created help. Because I know I've lived you, I've walked your path. When you need the help, you'll need it. You just won't be able to afford it yet. And then you'll get into the roller coaster ride because you'll be servicing all of your business. And some of you are just control freaks, and we're going to talk about that in a second too. That's a lack of skill. You haven't learned how to delegate yet. You just think, well, I just do it better than everybody else. No, you don't. No, you don't. And by the way, you do it, it's way too expensive. But I got some new challenges now. Business is starting to grow. If you take the initial steps, your business will start to grow. When you actually spend your day talking to people and asking them if they want to buy or sell a house, some people are going to say yes. Then you're going to have appointments. Then you're going to have business. Then you're going to need to service it. I had to start getting up earlier. I didn't like getting up early. That sucks to this day. Ask my wife. Am I a good morning person?
No.
No. I'm pissed off and grumpy for about an hour, hour and a half when I get up every single day. I'm a real joy to live with. I didn't have a choice. I had to start getting up earlier. Why? I needed to organize the day. I needed to delegate. I needed to get, otherwise they're just going to be sitting there going, well, hey, Mike, we're here to help. We're called help. We're here. We're here all day, every day. What do you want us to do for you? Well, let me think about that. Okay, well, we're sitting here waiting. You got to get ahead of the day. I didn't say you had to like it. I said you had to do it. I had to be on offense instead of defense. And the more your business starts to grow, the more important that is. You've got to get ahead of the day, not be responding to it. If you walk in the door and you're putting out fires from the minute you start work every day, that's your problem. Is you're on defense the whole day long. And that makes you feel weak. And it makes you feel defensive. And you're constantly trying to make excuses and justify things and apologize for things instead of getting out ahead of it. I had to learn some new skills. I did. Not skills that we're naturally born with. I know our egos want us to believe that we just were born with all the skills we need. You were not. You're going to have to learn to grow a new muscle. I had to learn how to delegate. There's an old saying in business that says the problem with delegation is never the delegatee. Never. It's always the delegator. Those girls on our help team, Dwayne, Karen, Rob, they'll do anything you want them to do. And if they don't, then they have to put up with my shit. And they don't want to put up with me. They will do anything that you want them to do. But they cannot read your mind. And they are not you, and it is not their business, it's your business. You have to delegate effectively. That's on you. And that's the problem with all delegation. We expect people to read our minds and be us. Hey, Bob, Christina is awesome. She is. She ain't you. And by the way, she isn't making your money either. So that's on you. If the delegation people fail, it's your fault. It's not theirs. And that should always be your first look. What could I have done differently to keep this from happening? I had to set clear and reasonable expectations for myself. How much am I going to work? What am I willing to do? How many days? What's my life incorporate? How many days a week am I willing to work? What hours during those days am I going to work? What am I willing to put up with, and what am I not willing to put up with? And it's better to know that before it happens to you. Those of you that know me, there's 3 things. I will do anything. I'll stay here all night tonight. I'll come in this weekend. I'll do anything I can to help you. There are 3 things that I won't put up with, and I pretty much decided that about 30 years ago. If you cuss at me, I'm not putting up with that. Bye. If you yell, Rip, if you're yelling, if you and I are talking about something and you just keep yelling at the top of your voice, I'm going to say, Rip, I need you to stop yelling. It makes it hard to get to a solution. I'm not yelling at you. Rip, I've asked you already to not yell. If Rip yells a third time, I just hang up the phone. I'm not having a debate about it. I'm not getting into it with you. I'm just going to hang up the phone. And then I'm going to send him an email and I'm going to say, Rip, it appears we can't have a professional conversation. So from this point forward, all communication will be via email. Have a great day. I'm not fighting with him. I decided 30 years ago, I ain't fighting with him. You aren't going to talk to me in a demeaning way. Those are two things I will not put up with. The other thing I will not put up with is bitching, whining, and complaining here in our office. I won't put up with it. You got a problem? Come see me. We'll figure it out. You don't do that and you walk around, you walk over to David and go, wee, 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 wee. Bye. You got to go. Those are my only 3 boundaries, but I will enforce them, and I think they're reasonable. Anybody come to work today to listen to other people bitch and complain? No, you don't. I'm going to keep it from happening. I had to start getting up early. I did. There was no choice. I didn't like it. I know you don't like it. Some of you do, the crazy ones. Jay's done 2 workouts by 5 a.m. But the rest of us are like, no, it sucks. But I have to. I have to get ahead of the day. I had to learn some new skills. I had to learn how to manage myself and my time. I needed a weekly schedule, and it needed to be really effective. And some of you are still resisting this and fighting it. You don't want to get this organized. You don't. Okay, I feel your pain. I was there with you. You're just going to keep chasing your tail. You're just going to keep chasing your tail. And I wish you wouldn't. And I'll try to help you stop doing that. But you have to be willing to learn some new skills. I had to set boundaries. We talk about this. I had to learn to do this. I had to learn to manage my emotions. Just wearing me out. Just wearing me out. Other agents, customers, taking me on an emotional roller coaster ride. This is business. It's not my house. It's your house. You can be emotional. I had to learn this. I learned how to feel the emotions but not express them. I still to this day, I feel it. I'm just like you guys. I have emotions too. I've learned I don't have to express every emotion I have. I can walk out the back door when it's not raining and scream my lungs out. I can go home at night and Jane will say, you look tired, and I'm like, I need a drink. These people drive me crazy. Sometimes I had to do, now look, if you're on your phone right now, I want you to stop. I want you to pay attention to me for just 20 seconds. The most important thing I had to learn to do, I had to figure out how to get myself to do things I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do it either, folks. I fully get where you're coming from a lot of times. I went through a period in my career where I did a lot of door knocking. I don't necessarily recommend that today, but back then it was okay. You think I wanted to? I always felt like a vacuum cleaner salesman. I always felt embarrassed to do it. But you know one thing that I never saw when I was doing it? I never saw another real estate agent. Ever. Not once. Never was I walking down one side of the street of a neighborhood and an agent was walking down the other side and we would wave at each other. Never happened. And I made millions doing that. And even after I made all that money doing it, I still didn't want to do it. Isn't that crazy? I made $2.1 million knocking on one door. True story. And I still didn't want to do it again. Like there's some kind of crazy with that. Hey Ami, if you thought you were going to make $2 million by going to knock on a door, would you be eager to go do it? I know, that makes sense, right? I didn't want to do it. I had to figure out. I used to drive around in my car for like a half an hour because I didn't want to stop and get out. I never wanted to pick up the phone and start calling people. I didn't like it. I don't know what to tell you. I figured out how to do it. I would tell you how I did it, but that would make you want to think that that might work for you. It might not. You have to figure that out for yourself. How to get yourself to do things you don't want to do. And most of the people in the room right now think that you're the only one that has that problem. No. Everybody in the room has that problem. You don't want to pick up the phone. You don't want to start doing the thing. It's the hard thing. It's the separator among people. If you can figure out how to get yourself to do it, and nobody else in the room can figure out how to get themselves to do it, you win. I had to learn a new mindset. I did. Because my mindset sucked, and yours does too. I had to learn to welcome the hard. And I will say this to you guys in coaching sessions sometimes. I'm like, you don't want it to be hard. You want it to be harder. You do. Trust me on this. You want it to be so hard that only you can do it. That's how hard you want it to be. You want it to be, this marketplace right now, this is hard. Multiple offers, you're having to take people through the process multiple times. They're getting frustrated, they're blaming you, you're getting frustrated. And I say to you, Lisa, it's hard. You want it to get worse. You want there to be no homes for sale. And you want everybody else in the room to sit around and bitch, whine, and complain about it all day while you just go to work. That's what you want. You want it to be hard. David, you're going to call 70, 80 people today, and they're not going to answer, and some of them are going to be rude. And I say to you, yeah, you want it to be more. You want more people to not answer. Because when they don't answer your call, they're not answering Bob's call either. There's your opportunity. You got to learn to think like this. That's the separator in people. I promise you, that's the separator. I had to learn to expect problems. When I woke up this morning, we're going to have problems today. I don't know what they are, but we're going to have them. That's okay. Work the problem. Don't get emotional about it. Don't start drawing dramatic conclusions about it. Work the problem. Be the solution. Let everybody else have their hissy fits. You just be the solution. You just work the problem, get the solution, go on to the next problem. Understand this, Bob. You're the weird one.
Yes.
When you have these thoughts, what's wrong with these people? There's nothing wrong with them. There's something wrong with you. Be the weird one. What I think is, I'm not weird because I get up, get dressed, and go to work and ask people to buy or sell homes with me. I'm the weird one. Everybody else doesn't do that. So by definition, they're normal and there's something wrong with me. That's good. Hey, Rip, you're the weird one. Don't wear other people's opinions. If you have ever gotten the sense from me that I don't really give a shit what other people think, you would be right. I don't give a shit. I love you. Ami, I love you. Manuel, I love you. I don't give a shit what your opinion about anything is. I can still love you. I don't care. You can think whatever you think. You can take the vaccine shot or not take the vaccine shot. You can have whatever opinion about what's going on in the world. You can vote for whoever you want to. I don't care. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care what your opinion is of me. Why? Because I'm doing the work. And you can agree with me or not agree with me. I don't give a damn. I know I'm right because I'm doing the work every day and it produces the results. Have whatever damn opinion you want. I say that to you because I so want you to adopt that perspective. Quit not taking action because somebody... I had an agent say to me yesterday on a thing Rob and I were doing that, well, I wouldn't put sign magnets on my car because it looks ridiculous. I'm like, what do you care what other people think? Other people you don't even know. You're not doing something that might help you. Might not, but it might. Why not do it? Because of what other people's opinion might be? Oh my God. You gonna live your life like that? That lonely's okay. There's an old saying that says it's lonely at the top. That's not true. I've been to the top in this industry. It ain't lonely. There's a lot of cool shit going on. There is. And I so want all of you to get there. Bob, did you enjoy making those ESPN commercials?
Very much.
Did you like sitting in a sports bar with your buddies and they're going, shit, you're on Sports Center? Was that cool? Yeah, it's cool at the top. It ain't lonely. What is true, though, is it is lonely on the way to the top. And you're going to have to say goodbye to a lot of people, and that's what's bugging you. You aren't afraid of success. You're afraid, and you know who they are. You could name them right now in your mind. You're going to have to tell some people what I say. You can support me and encourage me, or you can get the hell out of my life. And I've said that. I said that to my mom. And that's a hard day, but I'm not joking. Mark Twain wrote a book. It's called Following the Equator. And there's a famous passage in there. And it says, be good and you will be lonely. Welcome the lonely, folks. It's not a social club. I only have time for people that inspire me. My wife. The reason I married my wife was because she inspires me. Only surround yourself with people that make you want to be better. If you're hanging around people that don't challenge you to be better, get them the hell out of your life today. Only allow yourself to be around people that make you want to be better. Where did it all start? From pain and discomfort? From a really sucky place? But you can use that. You can use it to get to the next level. From a desire for things to get better. From a willingness to change. I am willing to change. Okay, the pain is so bad. I am willing to change. Talk to David McGee. Buy him lunch one day. David can speak to this. And he's self-honest. The reason I point you out, David, is not to pick on you. But David's honest enough, he'll be straight with you. And he'll tell you things that most people wouldn't tell you. A willingness to change. I want you to notice one thing before we stop. There any dollar signs up there? Have we talked about that much about money this morning? Other than like, I'd like to be able to pay my bills and not have my lights turned off. It was never about making a lot of money. It's not about making a lot of money. It's not about making a lot of money. If your single total focus is to make a lot of money, you won't. People will smell it on you. It's about getting better. It's about being as good as you can be. It's about changing yourself and growing new skills, adopting new strategies, getting better yourself. There's been no dollar signs in this at all. It was never about getting rich. It all started from a place of, God, can I stop eating macaroni and cheese every night? When Jane met me, I didn't have anything. I have anything? You married me for money? If you did, you ain't that smart. I didn't have any money. We talk about this a lot. It's at the start and end of everything we do. I've put these cards on your desk because I so passionately believe this. And I wish it for you. I do. It's not about achieving some goal that you wrote down on January 1st. It's not about that. It's about becoming the person that can achieve the goal. If you don't become the person, you won't achieve the goal. And we live in a culture where everybody wants you to write down your vision statement and write down your goals and keep them in front of you all the time. And I keep going, it's not about that. You're not the person that can do it. I wasn't the person that could achieve any goal. Until I became that person, I couldn't. And then when you do, I've done more than I could have never imagined. I could have never imagined. It was never the intent. But when you become the person, you can do anything that you want to do if you're willing to grow those muscles. And if you're sitting here today and you think that you can do it just naturally based on the person you are today, you're full of shit. You cannot. It won't happen. And next year in January, you'll just set a whole new set of goals and you'll go, okay, 2022 is going to be the year. And I'm going to go, probably not. Every real estate company in Atlanta in December and January does goal setting with their agents. And they give you a little business plan and you're supposed to fill it out, and then we go over it, and we don't do that. Why? It doesn't matter. You won't do it. Haven't we proven to ourselves over and over and over again? The reason you won't do it isn't because you're a loser. It's not because you don't have motivation and inspiration. It's not because you're not smart enough. You're not the person that can achieve the goal yet. Work on becoming the person. You will achieve the goals. Now, as usual, this was going to be a conversation. And I've gone long, and I apologize, but it's raining. What else you got to do? I want, hopefully, I've been transparent with you today. I'm not sitting up here telling you I got it all figured out. I don't. And I'm not proud of a lot of the things in my past. I'm not proud of it. I just want to give it to you because if you're in that space right now too, I want you to know that there is a path out of that. And if you're somewhere in between, there's a path to the next level if you're willing to take it. And I can help you with that. I've been there myself. This isn't theory. But I want to make sure that we don't stop without answering any question or any challenge that might be out there right now. Okay. Then what I want you to do is go find your path and become that person that can go as far down that as you want to go. Fair enough? Okay, let's go to work.